Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Momohime here is my first lewd figure, and it took me quite some time to decide if I wanted to take the plunge. You know, I was just thinking of all the strange and judgmental looks I could get from some people. But with that being said, I mean, she's not really that bad. As far as lewd figures go, she's actually very tasteful. Have you seen some of Native's figures? I mean, boy, I love the craftsmanship on them, but goodness gracious me, they are a little out there for my tastes. As always, let's start with the box. I've noticed an interesting trend where the lewder a figure is, the classier the box it gets. I mean, just look at Natives, they have some very, very nicely designed boxes. As with most exclusive figures, especially if they're lewd, there is no windows on this box, which is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, this means that you can't display the figure inside the box and you have no idea what the figure looks like before buying it in person. However, it also saves you the potential embarrassment and shame of buying it in person. Unless they decide to add pictures of the figure on the back of the box. Which is exactly what they did here. Yeah, I don't really know what they were thinking, to be honest. Something you'll probably notice straight away is just how tall Momohime is. She comes in at a whopping 25 centimeters and feels more like a 1/6 or 1/6.5 scale figure than a 1/7. She absolutely towers over Altez Momohime, which is a perfectly average size for a 1/8 scale figure. This isn't a complaint in any way. I mean, after all, the bigger she is, the more bang for your buck you feel like you're getting. The sculpt and painting on Momohime herself is practically flawless. Her body is sculpted to perfection, her facial expression captures her shy, ladylike, princess character perfectly, and her hair, which is complete with flowers, they add a wonderful splash of colour, I might add, has real dimension to it. Lesser manufacturers tend to have paler looking figures, but Amakuni certainly avoid that pitfall, as her skin has a lovely natural colour and tone to it. It's a real highlight of the figure for me. And of course there's that lovely transparent effect on the towel where it looks as though it's stuck to her body and you can see her skin through it. It's just an utterly charming detail. And as I'm sure you've all noticed by this point, Momohime is not alone. Jinkaro's soul is hanging around her, clearly giving her a bit of a questionable look. Suffice to say that he adds a bit of flair to this otherwise plain figure. Unfortunately, he's not detachable. Would have been nice if that were an option. I'm sure that some people, especially those who haven't played the game, would love to display Momohime without him. Because I get the feeling that a lot of people are going to be buying this figure without having played the game. Which on one hand is a shame, but on the other hand it's very understandable, because this is a figure that really doesn't need that much context, Jinkaro aside. This is a superb base, not just in execution, but in concept. Sure, it's not massively elaborate, but it complements the figure in the best way possible, which is recreating the scenes from the game. There's no branding to distract, and it doesn't just look like a piece of plastic for the figure to stand on. Instead, it becomes an essential part of the figure. Not to mention, the base itself is pretty well made. The texture on it is lovely, the paint job is good, especially on those rocks. There's some really nice colouring there. It should be noted that I have read quite a few comments on MFC regarding the quality control. It seems to be more an issue with the packaging itself rather than the figure, which is interesting to me. I myself cannot add anything to that since mine came in perfect condition, thankfully. But in conclusion, I would have to say that as far as lewd figures go, this is certainly one of the more tasteful ones out there. This isn't an elaborate figure by any means, however, there's no doubting that it is beautifully made. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and happy collecting. Bye-bye.